So we will start with the ending time, and that is 3:30. So everybody knows कि हम लोग को घर कितने बजे जाना है. And we can plan a Sunday meeting, and I have to go faster. So the gist of today's class is this. So I thought one is the book part of it, but this will be today's basic discussion. It is going to be on the theme of the first chapter of Arthashastra called as Aanvikshiki Sthapana, right? So all the students who are part of the course may know it, but others also don't worry about it. They are all in the introductory phase only. Aanvikshiki is an important word that comes in Arthashastra. Arthashastra किसने लिखा है? Kautilya. And the first book of Arthashastra starts with how to train a king. And in Sanskrit it is called Vidya Samudeshaha. Vidya Samudeshaha. What is Vidya?
Knowledge.
So if you have to be a manager, आजकल बहुत सारे courses चलते हैं, BMS, MBA, etc. If you want to be a medical doctor, there is a medicine का course. If you want to be an engineer, there is a lot of engineering courses. Right from mechanical engineering to sound engineering to electronic engineering, etc. etc. So as they say, an education system decides what are the kind of people who will come out in the society, isn't it? So now Chanakya, I want you to participate. Chanakya or Kautilya, both are the same person. Popularly is known as Chanakya, but academically in the scholarly fraternity is known as Kautilya. Okay? Kautilya, Chanakya and Vishnugupta are the name of the same person. Now when Kautilya is creating, what is he creating? What is his subject?
Politics.
Yeah.
Politics.
Okay.
And economics.
Economics, yes. His field is leadership, which includes all of that. So अगर एक engineering teacher एक education system खड़ा करता है, so first thing is called the syllabus and the design of the course, isn't it? You have to create, right? And therefore, even in this particular course, there is something called as board of studies. You got to know how courses are done. It is not कि हाँ चलो लग गया, अच्छा लगता है तो चालू करते हैं. ऐसा नहीं होता. The intellectual community itself decides कि इसकी जरूरत है क्या. मुझे लगता है इससे कुछ नहीं होता. Then there is a group of people who discuss हाँ लगता है कि ये होना चाहिए. Then there is a syllabus made, and that board of studies will then get it approved by something called as a academic council, which is then approved by the management council. This is the typical rule of the universities. And then it is finally sent to the governor, who is the chancellor, and he says, okay, please understand, this is not a tuition class. मुझको जो पढ़ा लिया side by side, it is a proper university में ऐसे होता है. तो चाणक्य is also a guru and acharya of which university of those days? Takshashila. So Nalanda and Takshashila. So imagine he is like an HOD, head of department, and he is not the only teacher. And Chandragupta Maurya was not his only student. Very important to know. Even though we know about Chanakya Chandragupta, please understand, Chanakya had many students and Chandragupta should have many teachers. Isn't it true? This is very important. आजकल एक नया सीरियल भी चालू हुआ है उसी पे. Chandra. Ekta Kapoor is good at glamorizing.
Is it the same Chandragupta?
That's what she claims. Because that's the whole Chandragupta and I think his wife.
His wife from the Nanda regiment.
ये पता नहीं ऐसा स्टोरी है करके बोलते हैं.
स्टोरी ऐसे कि वो उससे शादी करता है क्योंकि उसको रिवेंज लेना है. उसने ये स्टोरी.
So I read one of her interviews saying that she was always inspired by Chanakya Chandragupta stories from the beginning. लेकिन वो मैडम को गलत ट्विस्ट दे रहा था. क्योंकि चाणक्य चंद्रगुप्ता के ऊपर बहुत सारे सीरियल्स वैसे भी बन चुके हैं ना. ये always look at other dimension, right? There's another serial called Karna. You focus on the whole Mahabharata from the angle of Karna.
Yes.
The people who say if Mahabharata were looked on from the point of Duryodhana, it will be different dimensions.
Even C.R.K. Ram is also like that.
Exactly. And by the way, a lot of these television serials get the R&D from the Sanskrit department, and Madhuri madam, she helps a lot of these serial people.
That संस्कृतला पण खूप जास्त डिमांड आली आहे because of
म्हणून संस्कृत वाचा.
Yeah.
तुम्हाला पण डिमांड आहे. By the way, this is your career planning, huh? You may suddenly know that you have a lot of great careers. Anyway, let's come back to our career before that education. So, when Chanakya is deciding, the first Arthashastra is basically, of course, a book. But what is the subject? Science of politics and all is fine. But remember the key word again and again and again, that is leadership. So the objective is to create leaders. And we saw what are the skills that leadership required. Theory of leadership, economics, law, foreign policies and war. These are the 5 basic structures, right? Now we go into something called as Vidya. Vidya Samudesha. So in the first book of Arthashastra itself, he says, 4 are the Vidyas. Chatasya eva Vidya. If you look at this Sanskrit. And it says, as philosophy, the 3 Vedas, the economics and the science of politics. These are the sciences. राजा को राजा बनने के लिए 4 सब्जेक्ट्स सीखने हैं. Like if you go to mechanical engineering, there will be various subjects that you learn, right? So in English, this is page number 5. We start with the first shloka. How do you got it? English में अगर है reference? Yes. नीचे वाला देखो. So one of the habits that we need to get into, especially in academic reading, is to make sure you read a lot of footnotes. So details नीचे काफी होता है, and many books give references also. So slowly we'll get into that. But R.P. Kangle sir has researched on so many other versions before he wrote his version. You can see that. So what he says, of course, we are just only focusing on English as of now, even though the Sanskrit is available. So he says establishing, so the enumeration of the sciences. Sciences मतलब subjects for the time being. एक लीडर को 4 सब्जेक्ट सीखने जरूरी है. जैसे हम लोग 10th स्टैंडर्ड में भी लर्न साइंस, मैथमेटिक्स, whatever, many subjects, civics. So here he says, for a king, you require to know 4 subjects, which is given in the Kautilya Arthashastra. This is here. He says philosophy, Aanvikshiki, 3 Vedas, economics, Varta, and Dandaniti. Okay? What are the 4 things the king should know? Aanvikshiki, 3, Varta, and Dandaniti. ये words याद रखना. Aanvikshiki, 3, Varta, and Dandaniti. So what is Aanvikshiki? Aanvikshiki means philosophy. That's all?
Thought process.
Lot of things. There are more than 200 meanings. Critical thinking, logical thinking,
Horizontal.
science of thinking, horizontal thinking, lateral thinking, out of box thinking, जो भी आप बोलो. But for our understanding and as for Kangle is concerned, we say the king has to first learn Aanvikshiki, which means philosophy, right? But Chanakya says no, it is not enough. He should also learn the 3 Vedas. 3. Today the Vedas are classified into 4. Which are the Vedas? Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda. During Chanakya's time, Atharvaveda was not considered as a separate branch. It was only 3. And there is a lot of stories about Atharvaveda. It was not very accepted because there was a lot of this rituals and all that, you know. But later on, it became a mainstream. उस ज़माने में philosophy सीखना है, 3 Vedas सीखना है, economics, वार्ता. तो राजा को सब देखना है ना, he has to make everybody rich. Varta. Is there in your Sanskrit book? That is economics and science of politics, which is Dandaniti, Rajaniti. Okay? देखिए, now I will tell you, this is a very interesting thing which we need to develop as a habit, is that when you make a statement, that statement should not be very loose. It should be established by doing lot of research. जब मैं कुछ बोलता हूँ, मुझे लगता है, तुम्हें तो बहुत कुछ लग सकता है. Remember, he is facing a scholarly community, right? Chanakya is introducing a subject of his own, a book of his own called Kautilya Arthashastra, isn't it? And he starts with the first one. मुझे लगता है, क्या लगता है आपको? Think about it sitting in front of विद्वानों की सभा. Classes, not just classes. तो टेंशन आता है ना, but to face the classes you should have a पक्का thought process. And if you know this thought process, you will be successful everywhere in life. You know why businesses fail, especially startups? So they feel my idea is good. They feel my idea is good. है ना? But 95% of the startups fail because they are not thinking about the idea from the other person's perspective. It is called critical thinking. हमारा आइडिया में कितना खोट है पहले खुद ही देखते हैं. But whom do you consult whether तुम्हारा आइडिया परफेक्ट है कि नहीं है? You have to consult other experts. I feel my baby is good, right? But every mother and father will think my baby is the best. But who decides the baby is the best? When the child is in a class of 60 students and then the teacher tells he is first or she is first. फिर वो बोलता हाँ critically evaluate किया, isn't it? So I am not feeling. It is justified by an external faculty, isn't it true? So we always say people and I have a lot of these young boys and girls who come to me and go, startup, great idea, अच्छा pay इधर. And then they make business plans, you know that? And they go to venture capitalist, and they don't get funding. Don't you think it happens? The problem is that when we build an idea, we don't look at that from the other perspective. हमको अच्छा लगता है, but वो सामने वाला expert क्या बोलेगा? See, venture capital has seen many thousands of businesses succeeding and failing, isn't it?
Yes.
Now this is where we have to understand, look at the logical process that Chanakya creates in leadership. So Chanakya's first line is Aanvikshiki Traivarta Danda Nidis Cheti Vidya. बोल दिया? Now how many people have the guts to say that नहीं मेरे सोच में भी खोट हो सकता है? And this is probably the only book that you will find. He self-criticizes himself with other experts. There is a concept in our Shastras called as Purvacharyas. Purva means before. Purva पश्चिम वाला नहीं है, Purva. Acharya means teacher. बराबर है? So then he says, okay, मैंने पूरा किया है, मुझे लगता है आन्वीक्षिकी त्रयीवार्ता दंड नीति इति विद्या. Knowledge of a leader, he should be taught 4 sciences or 4 subjects. ठीक है? No, it doesn't stop. Self-critical evaluation. The second line is very interesting. Go to the next page, page number 6. He brings in a previous scholar called as Manu. मनुस्मृति सुना?
Yes.
वो चाणक्य के पहले थे. But there is also a saying कि Manu was not a person; it is a school of thought. आप समझ रहे हो? जैसे टाटा में कौन है लीडर?
Cyrus
There were many leaders, right? Then over a period of time, Tata is not an individual; it becomes a philosophy, a group of thinking, right? So Manu, तो यहाँ पे आप देखोगे कि the followers of Manu, ऐसा बोला है. It is not Manu only. The school, the people of that Guru Shishya Parampara, they say the 3 Vedas, the science, economics, and the science of politics are the knowledge required for it. कितना बोला था चाणक्य ने कौटिल्य अर्थशास्त्र में? 4, right? But the previous Manu, they say ये Aanvikshiki is not required. 1, 2, 3 is only required. राजा को Aanvikshiki सीखने का जरूरत नहीं है. क्यों? Now look at everything. It is critically looked at it. उसका reason भी दिया है क्यों? For philosophy is only a special branch of the Vedic law. That means this philosophy is already included in the Vedas. समझ रहे हैं आप? So why are you treating it separately? It's like saying science है ना? Biology, botany, zoology, all part of science. But if somebody says you should learn zoology, science, history and geography. You should learn zoology, science, history and geography. What do you say?
Zoology
is a part of science.
बराबर है? Getting the logic?
Yeah.
So the previous teachers said, कि ये Aanvikshiki तो है. So what is important to know that Aanvikshiki was not invented by Chanakya. It existed before Chanakya. Remember that question?
Yes.
But Chanakya says, no, it has to be treated like a separate subject. It has to be treated like a separate subject. But he says, previous आचार्य जैसे Aanvikshiki है, but उसको इतना importance मत दो राजा के लिए. उसको 3 चीज सीखने हैं. He has to learn the 3 Vedas, the economics and the science of politics.
Yes.
Enough?
Yes.
So he is accepting that part, Chanakya. ठीक है. See, even though he has made his conclusion, he is telling us, look at yourself what the Purvacharyas did. Next, there comes another group called Brahaspati. Okay? Economics and the science of politics are the only sciences, say the followers of Brahaspati. Not Brahaspati Guru only, followers, Guru Shishya Parampara. Who is Brahaspati?
The Guru of all Devas.
Om Namah Shukra Brahaspati Bhyam. याद है आपको?
Yes.
Yes. So now he says कि there is another school which says कि even क्या बोलता है ये सब जरूरत नहीं है, only even Vedas are not required. We only require economics and science of politics. अरे ऐसा क्यों? Now he is giving the explanation over here. For the Vedic lore is only a clock for the conversant with the ways of the world. What does it mean? So इसको तो डिस्कार्ड, इसको लिया ही नहीं है, इसको डिस्कार्ड कर दिया था. अभी इसको भी डिस्कार्ड कर देते हैं. Who? Brahaspati. But he says why this is to be discarded? Because the Vedic lore is only a clock for the one conversant with the ways of the world. तो बोला अरे पापा इसमें already included है. Same thing like this.
So B is included in C.
Yes. अब समझ रहे हैं ना, जैसे यहाँ पे है.
So he's saying the Vedas are included in the.
Yes. Sorry, Vedas are included. Okay. Now come to the third one.
So what does this mean? Does it really mean that here he writes the Vedic lore is only a cloak for one conversant with the ways of the world?
हाँ.
Does it necessarily mean that it is included in the economic?
Okay, so let me put it down. What is the meaning of cloak?
Cloak. It's a dress.
Cover.
हाँ. तो क्या है कि Vedic lore is only a cloak for the one conversant with the ways of the world. अभी आप संस्कृत में आप पढ़िए जरा. Anybody is comfortable reading Sanskrit? Number 5. Sutra number 5. Very good.
Sir, in English, after Shloka 2, means Sutra 2, it's 4 and then 6.
No,
5 is not there.
Five is there.
5? अच्छा हाँ बीच में है.
बीच में है मतलब नंबरिंग की है. तो पैराग्राफ में भी मत देखिए, बीच में भी आता है.
One as a covering.
I think 5 is not there.
Venki is reading.
चला, मराठी में कौन वाचता है? Sorry,
What
संस्कृत
is the
में कौन
Vedic
वाचता है?
lore?
Venki.
Yes, please. Cloak.
Come on.
Page number.
Page number 5.
Vedic lore is.
No, in Sanskrit it comes to page number
6.
This is number 4.
So Aanvikshiki त्रयी वार्ता दंड नीतियोषति विद्याः त्रयी वार्ता दंड नीतियोष्टि मानवाः रयि विशेषो ज्ञानी विक्षति
Aanvikshiki.
ज्ञान अन्वीक्षिकी वार्ता दंड नीतियोष्टि बृहस्पत्याः संवरणामात्रं हि त्रयी लोका यात्रिविद इति.
Okay. So now we are talking about another teacher, another acharya called as Brahaspati. उसके thoughts में क्या बोला गया है कि basically for the Vedic lore, that means this one, okay, is only a clock for the one conversant with the ways of the world. ये जो है ना ऊपर का जो है ये actually जो अपने दुनियादारी के लोग होते हैं ना, वो लोग एक मुखौटा करके दिखाते हैं, उसको अलग से सीखने की जरूरत नहीं है. For example, there are a lot of these so-called criminals who use this kind of a mukhota to show them that they are very good to people. साईं बाबा का दर्शन करने लेके जाएंगे, पदयात्रा करेंगे, टेंपल में डोनेशन देंगे, अपने रिलीजन्स में काम करेंगे. देखा है आपने?
Yes, lot.
तो राजा को बोलते हैं वेदा सब क्या है? See, actually what they are telling is that for a leader you don't require the knowledge of the Vedas. You can be superficial. तो अलग से क्यों पढ़ रहा है वेदा? तो थोड़ा बहुत पुजारी को बिठा के कर दिया. So people will get impressed. A lot of people still do that.
Sir, is it also possible that Brahaspati was the teacher of the gods?
Yeah.
So his teachings are prior to the writing of the Vedas.
I'll come to that. It's a very important point. See, देखो हम तो ऐसे देख रहे हैं ना, but time wise it is उल्टा. You're getting a point. So Chanakya is actually the last stage, but we are going reverse now. Knowledge you want like this. The people only wanted this first. Then the next acharya says no, 2 चाहिए, फिर 3 चाहिए, फिर 4 चाहिए, right? You are right here. So Brahaspati existed before that. So Brahaspati is the god of देवतास. तो उनको वैसे भी होता है ठीक है हमारे पास बहुत सारे लोग हैं छोड़ो सिर्फ एक ही पे फोकस करो that is economics and mentally. Imagine yourself as a king. What is required to be a good king? Chanakya says all the four. One Acharya says सब सीखने का जरूरत नहीं है Aanvikshiki सब ठीक है. You just learn the Vedas, you learn economics, right? Requirement ना in science of politics how to manage everything. Sardar Patel. So Brahaspati says ये सब Vedas छोड़ो directly focus on these two. और ये सब cover up है only. There are a lot of people who don't study Vedas but still are leaders, isn't it? है ना? There is school of thought क्यों time waste करना है? Like a lot of communities वाले पढ़ाई वढ़ाई करके कुछ नहीं होता है. होता है ऐसे लोग? अरे तुमको तो वैसे भी गले पे बैठना है ना?
Yeah.
I know this and I was quite surprised in SPJ Management Institution. One chairman of a company came to give a lecture. He was a case study. Okay. Now think about it. Basically, he is not that educated. His son is in the part of the class. Huh? तो सर ने बेटा बड़ी इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट का बेटा है चलो पापा आगे गेस्ट लेक्चर तो पापा आगे बोलिए जाते जाते क्लास ने क्वेश्चन पूछा फिर one of the question asked to this very rich businessman and his son is sitting in that class and I was quite shocked by what the question was and what the answer was. So one of the students asked sir आपका हमारे से क्या expectation है? No, since you are such a great achiever, you are young generation what is the expectation? You know what he told? आप लोग सब बहुत अच्छी तरह पढ़ाई करना अच्छे मार्क्स लेके आना आखिर आपको मेरे इधर ही नौकरी करनी है.
Oh, so demeaning.
So I can give you good jobs. What does it mean? No, isn't that arrogance?
Yes, very much.
But there are people who think like that, huh? There are people who think like that. They believe कि क्या है MBA करके मेरे पास नौकरी करेगा. हाँ by the way, the joke is that उसका बेटे को MBA करा है. क्यों? So there are a lot of people who believe कि देखो I am a multi-billionaire यार. I never went to school. So what? सब billionaires मेरे नीचे सब qualified लोग मेरे नीचे काम करते हैं, right?
Yes.
Isn't that a philosophy? Does it work?
No.
Of course it works.
It is working.
It's not about right or wrong. देखो चाणक्य this is what he accepts. ये भी एक thought है. गलत सही को मत देखो.
You are saying good thing. You are saying that the politics for good thing required.
We'll come back to it. अभी debate चल रहा है. We are not concluded. But you see the thought that process happens in the society. So how many of you heard Bill Gates भी कभी graduate नहीं हुआ? धीरूभाई अंबानी कहाँ graduate हुए थे? ये सब सुना है आपने?
Many times.
No, then you know what's confusing WhatsApp messages, and we start believing in that also. That you know पढ़ाई करके क्या होता है? We very close to that thought. Suppose somebody is a very great scholar and reader, तो क्या करना? उनको राजा बनना है ना? तो finally you should know these two only: how to manage this and how to manage politics. Isn't that important?
Yes.
So people say there is no need of studying all this Aanvikshiki and all those things. And this is the biggest problem we also face. When we go and say आपको चाणक्य नीति सिखाएंगे to all our political groups, you know what they say? हमको चाणक्य आता है, हम सिखाते हैं. Because one good part about it, actually in the science of politics practically, isn't it?
Yes.
They are actually politicians elected. They are day in and day out managing everything. Isn't it true? हम जाके गुरुजी, टीचर, यूनिवर्सिटी, तो क्या बेटर? ठीक है लेक्चर दिया, मैं जा रहा हूँ. Very good. We will teach my subordinates. Huh? You understanding this point? So see, don't look at this as a Brahaspati. This is a parallel thought that happens in every generation, in every society. So the some person like Chanakya of any generation says, ये सारे सीखने हैं. But somebody says, ये philosophy छोड़ो, ये तीन सीख लो. How to manage funds, थोड़ा बहुत मालूम होना चाहिए, and this. You know the point? Now come to the one more acharya, Ushanas. Now, if you look at the next one, the science of politics is the only science. You only learn this one. Yes, a बाकी time pass ना. So traditional politicians who may not have a great educational background make sure that their children come into politics without education. है ना? और गली पॉलिटिक्स में आ जाओ या गांव की जो लोग हैं वो आपको टिपिकली दिखेंगे ये टाइप के होते हैं. You seen that? उनको राजा बनना है ना? Just learn this. Does it work? It works.
It works.
It works. So don't tell that it doesn't work.
Regional parties in India.
पूरा वही है. So this Danda Niti, leadership and all those things, whether we put in the Chanakya perspective or anything, is all the same. There are people who believe maximum सीखो, सब सीखो. There was a sub, don't waste your time, just learn about money and learn about how to manage people, science of politics, right? और फिर नहीं थोड़ा बहुत वेदा सीख लो, और अच्छा लगेगा पंडित वाला आएगा. Then manage all the things. Sir, people will छोड़ो ना यार, सब क्या time pass कर रहे हो? And there is a thought which you believe. Once you are a politician, you can have the remaining three. Once you are a politician, you can have the remaining three, na? Isn't that true?
Yes.
Are they wrong?
No.
They are not. So please understand, these are all acharya, no? They are not altu-faltu people. And this is the beauty of Indian system, that we respect every thought.
But sir, without having any basic knowledge about the remaining three, how can you depend on whomever you are recruiting? How do you verify?
That is, you are asking because you are learning it. But for ordinary person, like let me ask you, how many of you here believe that PhD is essential? Okay, believe that PhD is essential? Just raise your hand. See, half of you don't believe. But you will be surprised in the next 20 years that will be a minimum qualification. You know this? Okay, let me go back 30 years. The minimum requirement was metric. Remember that?
Yes.
Metric became very average. You know, graduate होना है. याद है? अभी graduation का value है?
No.
What is it now? MBA, professional courses, isn't it? Now that will also become a mass market. You know this? Are you aware of this?
Yes.
And I mean, I don't have to tell you this. MBAs are actually selling credit cards.
Yes.
You know this? Dentist. I mean, even in the medical fraternity, the number of doctors are coming out. What is it like? चलो doctor engineer बनना है. Now what will happen is that you'll be surprised. Now the cutting edge जो research बोलते हैं ना, that is what is getting appreciated in education field, not just your degrees. As I'm telling you again and again, please prepare yourself for not what you are today or what you were yesterday. Everybody should start preparing for the future. तो दोनों में PhD करना है नहीं करना है तुम सोचते रहो पीछे वाला निकल जाए. How many companies have suffered because young boys and girls or MBAs became their bosses? हुआ कि नहीं हुआ? So in the same way, there is a group of people even today in leadership who believe yes, how to understand psychology of people, politics, ये सामधान दंड भेद, that is Chanakya. Manage करना, isn't it? है कि नहीं thought? There are a lot of people who say नहीं यार, science of politics is one subject, but there is economics as another subject. There was a student who was supposed to join, but he could not join for a very good reason in fact. In fact, his father is a multi-billionaire, one of the richest businessmen of our country. So यहाँ पे आए थे, मतलब मेरा बेटे को leadership के course में डालना है and all those things. What is he doing currently? He said, you know, my son is very interested in learning economics. Economics. And the boy came here, I had an interview and around of it. And then I realized that basically the kind of an economic research that he is doing, I think he is doing it in London School of Economics or somewhere like that. So he had an option of that. बोला कि वहाँ पे जो econometrics and the advanced subjects within economics he was doing, कि wow, well, you should join your course at field. No. The father is an MBA already, saying that your son will become an MBA, that's fine, you know the business model. But he is looking at economics as a very special interest field. So I set up a meeting of this with one of our economics department professor, and he said, wow. So this son will have an advantage of MBA which his father has got, plus specialization in economics. Will it work? Do you know who guides businessmen? Economist. And so most of the companies have a position called as chief economist. Ajit Ranade. The Prime Minister has got a chief advisor to the chief economist of Government of India, chief economist of RBI.
RBI governors are also normally economists. No?
They are economists.
So there are economists. So idea of telling is that now you know about politics. Is okay. Can we also learn economics as a subject? Right? Now, if you look at all these things, it is not something that you should study or not study. There are people who believe only study one, that is enough. There are people who believe you study two, that is enough. There are people who study three, that is enough. But what does Chanakya say?
Four.
Tell me one thing. Is he disconnecting all the remaining three?
No.
Or discarding?
No.
तो इन्होंने जो बोला accepted है. इन्होंने जो बोला एक्सेप्टेड है, इन्होंने जो बोला एक्सेप्टेड है, सब एक्सेप्ट करके प्लस फिलोसफी. ओके, he was the one who introduced philosophy or Aanvikshiki as a separate branch. Even though Aanvikshiki existed everywhere, he said no, Aanvikshiki should be a different subject. For example, what we are doing right now. All of us have studied up till school, history, geography, mathematics, basics तो आता है ना अपने को. Everything else. And today you say, okay, you should have some basic graduation qualities. So most of you have it, right? Now comes another interesting thing. We should. The highest one is called management, isn't it? And you'll be surprised. In management, leadership is already a subject. Are you aware of this? A lot of books are written on leadership. But what we have done is that we are not discarding management. What we are saying, let us go one step ahead of management, which is leadership. Now tell me one thing: is leadership a new subject?
No.
No.
Did it exist previously also?
Yes.
Correct. But what are we doing? We are giving it a specialization, isn't it? But tell me one thing: just because you are following leadership, are we discarding management?
No.
No.
Are we discarding science?
No.
Are we discarding arts?
No.
Isn't that all included? Now you understand how it is. Aanvikshiki as a subject existed everywhere, in every era. That's why if you read the Shastra, it's a very common word. But Chanakya's contribution is very different. He says, listen, ये सब करना ही है, but Aanvikshiki should be treated as a separate subject. I'm not telling you the remaining three are not important, but it has to give a special importance. So why? He explains it further. Now look at what he says. 4 indeed is the number of the sciences, says Chanakya. देखिए, this is very important to know. I have a stand, okay? ठीक है? I listen to everybody. But you know what can happen? Either one thing can happen is I can change my stand, or I can change others, or I can get confused. After stating this, he states the Purvacharyas. But उसका conclusion क्या है?
Indeed is important.
He's not changing. This is clarity of thinking. I stated 4 are required. My previous master says 3 are required, 2 are required, 1 is required, right? And what does he finally say? Does he change?
Economics.
Did he change?
No.
He stuck to 4, isn't it? What does it mean? उसको मालूम था कि वो लोग oppose करेंगे. It's like going to play cricket. You know you have to win. But you go there and you find out अरे ये बॉल आ रही है क्या? इसके साथ कैसे खेल सकते हैं? Did you change your plan? You actually study the bowler before you go to the field, isn't it? हमने कोई seen that movie धोनी वाला, the untold story. It's a very interesting scene that where you know there is a match जिसमें युवराज उसको बहुत बड़ा रन बनाता है.
800.
And that time the character Mahendra Singh Dhoni says even before they played the match they had lost the match. Because all these players see that युवराज going हाँ वो तो इतना बड़ा हीरो के साथ कौन खेलेगा? मारो जो मारना है. So this is where the Aanvikshiki का importance जो है ना that is what कि you before you go into the field you should know who the opponents are. Let me tell you each opponent is a पक्का गया. They are not ordinary आचार्य. They are all great theories gathering कि okay अभी ये घूमने डालने वाला है.
So when they came, these Kusanas and the rest, during which year? Which year?
So that you have to go. उसमें नीचे footnotes में आपको research करने को मिलेगा. But they were like historically at least thousands of years पहले होंगे. The school of thoughts already there, right? बोलिए आप. But you know what? This is the beauty of Chanakya. He knew. Now look at it now. While the book reading session, didn't I tell you that we should look at the background and the era in which it was written?
Yes.
अभी आपको बताता हूँ ये उन्होंने क्यों बोला है. He has already stated this and he's concluded the same thing only. He didn't change it. But when you actually establish something, ना उसको मालूम है कि बाकी के जो लोग आके बोलेंगे क्या 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 है ना, he's already considering that. So it's like we face this when you go to the board of studies and we have a syllabus. The syllabus will not be accepted as it is, huh? There will be other scholars who will say ये नहीं चाहिए वो नहीं चाहिए, right? But a good teacher will say कि अच्छा वो सामने वाला board of studies वाला है क्या, उसका subject क्या है, उसको पहले include कर लो. दूसरा subject अरे उसको भी include कर ले. तीसरा का उसका भी इंक्लूड है, लेकिन मेरा नहीं छोड़ना. Very important. I am going with a complete preparation that this is the new education thing which I have to establish. But the previous आचार्य will they allow you? कोई भी नया कुछ आता है बोलते ये करो, उनको क्या लगेगा? It's like, you know, a new thing is done. What will happen to the existing market? And if he is a big player, disruption हो सकता है ना? It's like, you know, Jio coming in, right? I know, just before Jio was launched, 1 month ago, I was doing a program with one of the big mobile companies. We were sitting with a strategy team. I said, better. Like, क्या हो गया? Problem क्या है? We are waiting for Jio. अरे, why are you waiting for Jio? You decide what is the name of Jio. That means इतने डर गए थे कि क्या हो सकता है? Imagine चाणक्य is coming. And everybody in that generation knows ये छोटा मोटा आदमी नहीं है. His credit चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य. He defeated Alexander. Now he is coming to the education system. The education system is already there and there were other schools, isn't it? So you consider, अच्छा, ये आदमी, ये उष्णा वाले हैं, इनका ये तो philosophy है, ये बृहस्पति वाले हैं, अच्छा, this is your philosophy. And these guys are
Manu.
Manu. So she started Manu. अच्छा, मानव वालों ये हो रहा है. I'm establishing Aanvikshiki. तो ये बोलेगा रे, हमारे इसमें बोला नहीं Aanvikshiki है, लेकिन वो अलग नहीं consider कर रहा है. बोलते उसकी जरूरत नहीं, उसकी जरूरत नहीं, उसकी जरूरत नहीं. Get the point? But he said, oh, who is telling no to you? Yours is included, yours is included, yours is included, and mine is also included. But mine is separate from you. Then these people think, इसने बहुत research करके आया मेरे पे. He is not telling me no. Okay? But at the same time, he's got his own stand. Somebody put it very nicely. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for everything. This is where, you know, when you make a business plan, इतना perfect होना चाहिए कि सामने वाला ना ही बोलना बोल सके. You don't, why are you giving a chance for somebody to tell no? Therefore, you know, there's a statement somebody said. If you understand Chanakya Niti, you can't fail. If you fail after studying Chanakya Niti, that means you have not understood Chanakya Niti. So you take into consideration everything before you come in. आप समझ रहे हो? Okay? So now the first part of this chapter is establishing and debating different viewpoints. And they say no. He comes to saying that in spite of difference of opinion, I believe 4 sciences are included, and therefore he teaches all the 4 sciences. Aanvikshiki, Trayi, Varta, and Dandaniti. So the first chapter which we are saying is he tell you why Aanvikshiki is important. The next chapter he will tell you why the Vedic law is important, right? And that is chapter number 3 में बताते हैं. And chapter number 4 में he explains this and this. Got it? So the first 3 chapters is explaining all the 4. Clear? But let us now focus. You say, okay, पूर्वाचार्यों ने 4 बोला, मैं कहता हूँ 4. Accepted. Now let me explain what is philosophy in detail and why it should be a separate subject. And the first subject. There's a difference between a separate subject and
First.
Did he change the order by saying that 3 Vedas, economics, science of politics and Aanvikshiki? वो भी हो सकता था ना. त्रयी वार्ता दंडनीति Aanvikshiki चेति विद्या. Did he do that? No. He said Aanvikshiki त्रयी वार्ता दंडनीति चेति विद्या. He could have kept this over here also, right? But he said no. First you have to study Aanvikshiki. Why? तो scholars बैठे हैं ना. He should give an explanation. मुझे लगता है क्या लगता है. Now he gives a logic of why Aanvikshiki is Prathama Vidya. What is Prathama Vidya? First. Not the 4th. Huh? Very important. He says thinking is the most important thing. You should first teach children how to think. हम लोग क्या सिखाते हैं? A B C D 1 2 3 4. Is that not included? It is included. It should be included. But do you teach it first? Or should we taught thinking? Yes.
The way our education system also goes about.
Yeah, today's ratta marking. So we always say about this joke, right? Children are born intelligent. We make them educated. We make them educated.
Children they say Aanvikshiki should come first.
Every born child is a natural thinker, isn't it? And what we do is condition them, saying that this is what. So what is saying that नए knowledge सीखा, but the natural ability to think, let it also be trained. How many of us are trained in thinking?
No one. No.
Does
Yeah,
everybody
but-
think?
We are but in a certain pattern.
Now let me ask you. Now it goes finer and finer. We are just touching. How many of us actually think? Now let me ask you a question. Do you know there's a difference between worrying and thinking?
Yes. Lots.
How much of us actually worry and how much of us think? Both.
No worries.
80-20.
Only thinking.
No, what? No, tell me now. Now let's look at it this way. What is the definition of thinking?
Thoughts.
Analyzing.
Okay.
The thoughts that come.
Okay.
Solutions.
Okay.
Going into
Okay.
solution world.
Explore.
Okay. Now we
Alternative.
Dimensions.
Okay. Okay.
For decision
Okay. Okay. All of you will be very surprised. The first step of thinking is not thinking. It is quietening the mind. You remember Patanjali Yoga Sutra?
Yes.
हड़बड़ में बहुत सारे वो dimensions analysis will lead to paralysis. It is not thinking. Nobody teaches us this, right? For thinking, you require wrong thinking. But that doesn't mean you don't think at all. Cricket, why am I giving you an example of cricket? It's a common example. तो एक बैट्समैन जाता है, वो डायरेक्टली आके बैटिंग करता है क्या? What does he do?
पिच को देखता है
You
सॉल्व.
understand? So thinking के पहले भी there is an activity, which is non-thinking, which means quieting the mind. This is the beauty of it. We actually don't know how to think, and we say we are thinkers, not thinkers. And the first step about thinking is not thinking what you believe in. It is looking at what others believe in. सरदार पटेल का मूवी देखा ना आपने? He will always be quiet. He is thinking. वो क्या बोलता है, वो क्या बोलता है, वो क्या बोलता है, वो क्या बोलता है. Last में मैं बोलूँ. And understand this point? A good leader, number one, makes it zero. Second is he accepts everybody's thoughts and then decides. You don't have to think. You have to first understand others' thinking. We are actually not trained in thinking. The only person which I have come in modern days who actually thought thinking as a subject was Edward de Bono. Have you ever heard about him? Have you read his books? But that is more from the Western perspective. It's a good book. There's a very famous book of that generation. अभी तो किसको पता भी नहीं है. 6 Thinking Hacks. Very good tool model. I think many of us still follow that. So he says, thinking can be put into 6 dimensions. In the 6 colored hats होता था. You don't think like a finance guy. You don't think like a whatever. That was thinking as a subject. And one of the outputs of thinking is strategy. But strategy is not the only way of thinking. Huh? Therefore, in the management, there is a field called as strategic thinking. You know what is strategic thinking?
Systematic.
Systematic thinking. Systematic thinking करना ही नहीं करना है. पर उसके पहले systematic thinking करने से पहले calm mind. Then gather the data. You can't think without data. Do you know this? अच्छा. Now let me tell you. How many of us are aware that each one of us has got mental disorders?
Yeah. We all are patients.
डर लगता है ना? And one of the basic mental disorders is that while thinking, we start creating a virtual world of our own.
Yes.
We believe that is thinking. That is not thinking, that is stupidity. Because ज़्यादा including me, all of us, मुझे लगता है ये जो आदमी थोड़ा टोन में ज़्यादा बोलता है ना, he is living in a virtual world which he imagines. Note yourself. आप देखना, everybody today, mental health diseases become a major field of research.
Yes.
Depression क्या है? It is overthinking. What is depression? We never thought depression could be a mental disorder, right? Till Deepika Padukone told it. And
She was a major patient of depression.
Africa person Karan Johar. Latest edition.
So now we have started discovering faults in thinking. Depression में आदमी सोचता है कि नहीं सोचता है? सोचता है, but the difference is not thinking, is worrying. And worrying का highest level it goes, he doesn't know. Then highest करते करते, if you don't know the right thinking, the last level that you reach is you that thinking. पागल. So, but this is reality. How many of you do self-talks? It's good or bad?
Good. Bad.
Both the sides.
My dear friends, self-talk is bad.
Bad.
Quieting the mind is good. And self-talk is not guided talk. There is something called affirmations.
Yes.
You are confusing affirmations with self-talk, huh?
Affirmations.
Affirmations, positive वगैरह affirmations होता है.
It's a grammar we have learned on affirmations.
Very शक्तिशाली हो, that's what
I think I'm just actually just inviting you a word that thoughts में भी इतने categories हैं. चाणक्य के लिए पहले उसको specialization दिया है. Okay, now let's debate on this. Self-talk, why do you think it is good?
With affirmations is good.
वो नहीं, अपने पहले affirmation मैंने डाला. Why is self-talk good or bad? How many of you believe it's good? Don't change the stand. Huh? Why is it good?
सेल्फ टॉक करता है, खुद से बात करता है.
हाँ, खुद से बात करो.
Okay, let's define what is self-talk.
Talking with oneself.
You're talking to your whole self and there is no person in front of you. So you're trying to either defend yourself, you're trying to justify why you did one thing or why you did not do that thing. So it is a proven fact that very lonely people do that. और people who are not very well accepted do that. कि मुझे कोई accept नहीं करता, मैं खुद को ही accept कर लेती हूँ. तो या मुझे ऐसा करना चाहिए था, then okay. मतलब हम ऐसे actions करते हैं which are very comforting to us because they were not accepted by people around us.
Good or bad?
Bad. Mental patience.
It's bad actually.
No, let me come back to the point. कि self-talk is important if it is guided properly. That's why it's called affirmation. You know what is affirmations?
Yes.
What are affirmations? Positive talk that you give to yourself.
Positive.
Give an example.
I can do it.
I am very happy.
But that's only self-talk without clarity. What you're talking to yourself. For example,
I am very happy.
I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. You want that? Visualize yourself. Happy, happy, happy. Suddenly you're happy.
That we did a meditation, breathing exercise, that the energy is flowing on within us.
Is that
Positive
good?
energy.
That is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is better, self-talk or
The affirmation.
guided self-talk with
Guided
positive
self-talk.
thoughts?
Positive thoughts.
Now, which is better, guided self-talk or calm mind?
Calm mind.
Jeez.
Yes, that's the point. To reach the highest level, it takes time. But what I'm saying, nobody guides us. But in our culture, there's a system called japa, which actually is self-talk.
Chanting.
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 Isn't it?
Yes.
So if you start giving yourself those, what Om Namah Shivaya, jo bhi bol, it's a self-talk. Huh? But at least it is positive. Then you start visualizing, Bhagwan ka roop aise hoga, waise hoga. Every religion has got this tool. Have you seen that? Every religion, huh? That is, so you are actually playing with your mind and you can listen. Bahut bura nahi hoga. All is well. 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 Good, right?
Yeah.
But which is better? All is well or calm mind?
Calm mind. Calm mind.
Another danger part. Is only calm mind enough?
No.
But is not calm mind required?
Required. Very much.
This is an Aanvikshiki. We dissect our mind so much. पहला तो calm रहो. Calm रहने के बाद भी problem है. करना क्या है उस mind के साथ? Because the mind can't remain. You have to direct it. See, it's like saying, I want to see a movie, okay? You go to theaters. Blank screen होना चाहिए, right? You go to movie screen and look at a blank screen. अच्छा है, एकदम clear, एक भी थप्पा नहीं, एकदम white, perfect, right size हो गया. आगे क्या? क्योंकि वो स्क्रीन है ना, ब्लैंक रह नहीं सकता. अब उसके ऊपर क्या फिल्म चलाना है ना, that you can decide. Interestingly, we don't decide what is the movie to be played on the screen, isn't it? Therefore, the mind energy gets wasted. Aanvikshiki teaches us how to make that mind calm and also tells us what to think and how to think. Interesting, right? Again, पहले बात तो हमको काम करने को नहीं आता है, काम करने को भी नहीं आता और काम करने को भी नहीं आता है। No. Please understand, the calm mind is the highest productive mind, but there is a difference. Calm mind is the highest productive mind, but there is a difference. A calm mind, not getting directed, can become a lazy mind. ये होता है ना, मेडिटेशन में बैठते लोग सो क्यों जाते हैं? Everything is okay, breathe in, breathe out, sleep. So the mind is so calm, the only thing it is got used to is after calmness is
Sleeping.
how many of you are trained with a calm mind you can work? Believe me, it is the most productive work. Aanvikshiki prathama vidya. How to train your mind before you get trained in subjects. अभी explain करना तो लोग को logic लगता है ना. Now let's go back to Arthashastra. Chanakya first gives all these dimensions and saying that I believe Aanvikshiki Traivarta Dandaniti Cheti Vidya. It doesn't say Traivarta Dandaniti Cheti Aanvikshiki. No.
Aanvikshiki.
Okay. Now it doesn't change. See what is happening is that when we go to change others, we actually get changed sometimes. Right? See, this is the clarity that he has कि पक्का है, फिर जाता है. और बड़े-बड़े चैंपियंस को बोलता है, listen, I respect you, I include you, but remember, आपके thinking में ना एक dimension missing है. हाँ, सुनना पड़ेगा ना, सामने accept तो कर लिया. It states why Aanvikshiki is required. You don't know the logic? Yes, that's the beauty of this chapter. Okay. 4 indeed, that is page number 6, sutra number 8. 4 indeed is the number of the scripture says, of the sciences says Kautilya. Kautilya doesn't change his stand, clarity of thinking. 4 ही है, 3 ने, 2 ने, 1 ने, only 4. See, before that I want to just tell you one thing and this is that the Pushanas believe only in science of politics. उसका logic भी दिया. Every आचार्य का logic दिया. So let us go back to number 6. The science of politics is the only science, says the followers of Pushanas, for with it are bound up undertakings connected with the sciences, isn't it? That means एक बार आप politician और politics समझ गए, बाकी सब आपके अंडर आ जाएगा. And give the example ना. Once you are a king, you can hire others, or you can get them. That's one of the way of things. Chanakya says in चारों से. One of the simple logic is that you may be here, but these guys can fool you also, right? Anybody who has their own businesses or inherited businesses of their parents here? Let's talk about, there are 2 kinds of business called hands-on business and hands-off business. What is hands-on business? पूरा आपको detail मालूम. The second generation business we can just say second generation business. Okay. Now typically the second generation may not be very hands-on. मतलब क्या है? For example, the father may have started right from renting the office, getting the first order, looking at the first machine, talking to the first employee. है ना, सब कुछ किया. After 20-30 years, let's say become a 50 crore company. When the son comes in, okay, or the next generation comes in, will he has to start again from going and buying the first order, buying the first office? He doesn't want it, right? So basically what happens is so he starts from 50 crores, right? And his challenge is not to go from 0 to 50 again, but can he make 50 to 100 crores? Isn't it true? Yes. Getting the point? Now what is important? If this particular second generation person comes at 50 crores, is it essential for him to go from 50 to 100 or also learn 0 to 50? Will it help? Exactly. So, the science of politics is exactly what Chanakya wants to teach. Arthashastra is political science, right? उधर नहीं, ये तो सीखना ही है कि इसके पहले ये भी सीख के आओ. Finally आपको इसी फील्ड में काम करना है. But once you study these, ये जो लोग हैं ना आपको फूल नहीं कर पाएंगे. I know a person who has got 500 trucks. कितना? 500 trucks, big transport owner. उसका दोनों बच्चे हैं, they are highly educated. One is educated in Australia, one is in I know this person. So there's both sons. when they came back. So one person completed MBA, the other person शायद 3 साल का difference है. He also did his MBA from abroad again. पहला दिन तो बेटे को जैसे MBA करके बोलते अभी कल से ऑफिस आ रहा है बेटा. हाँ आया ऑफिस में. इधर क्यों आया? जा चाय बना. जा चाय बना. चाय बना पापा MBA करके. कहा ठीक है MBA का काम दूंगा तेरे को. बोले चाय बना. was so shattered. MBA करके चाय बना. चाय बना. Then he put him into some remote area of the office. वहाँ पे 3-4 दिन AC नहीं, कुछ नहीं, वो नहीं सब. फिर वापस आया. अभी ट्रक चलाने को सीखा. Heavy vehicle. Truck. 6 months he did not allow him to come to the head office. Maybe all those cleaners, ये वो सब. What is very interesting is that after he did all this, like okay, अभी बेटा तू मेरा धंधा नहीं चलाएगा. तू एक भी है ना, पर मेरा तभी पता चल गया तुम्हें. You start another company as a division of this company. You start another company as a division of this company. He started a small company and also here. You know what? That is the beauty of it. Because he knows all the basics. When he started his own company, he knew the problems of the last man. The first truck his son bought, very interesting, is actually a truck which has an AC cabin for a driver. Which is actually the Australian standards. आप समझ रहे हो ये point? So he's already the Australian culture. You know, in Australia, if you've gone, there are many developed countries. A truck driver is very respected. He carries so much. हमारे यहाँ पे इस typical arranged marriage कौन अपना बेटी को truck driver के साथ शादी करेगा देगा? Stigma, right?
Yes.
The stigma. But you know, truck drivers carry so much, and they also require peace of mind. Therefore, that cabin is AC. Some of the trucks you can see now. This guy was educated, but he said, no, this is the problem. So he bought. Today he's got उसका division में there are 50 trucks. Now the father knows. मेरे को बता रहे थे इसके डैडी. 3 साल उसका training बाकी है. Then he will become the chairman of the company. You know, standard. और ये जो है ना, इनको change करना मेरे हाथ में अभी मेरा काम हो चुका है. So the thing is that you have to do this only. But if you know this, you will be able to do this better. आपको तो राज ही करना है. इसलिए आपको बाहर का एजुकेशन दिया ना कि राज करने से पहले थोड़ा मेहनत कर ले. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Aanvikshiki. So let us look at the logic why Aanvikshiki is important. Very interesting. 4 indeed is the number of sciences, says Kautilya. Since with the help of one can learn what is spiritual good and material well-being, therefore the sciences, vidyas are so called. देखो ये अगर हम लोग आन्वीक्षिकी, त्रयी, वार्ता, दंडनीति चारों सीख रहे हैं, so we will be able to understand what is spiritually good and materially good. हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, इस दुनिया में भी सक्सेसफुल होना है, उस दुनिया में भी सक्सेसफुल होना है, isn't it? He wants a king who is successful here and there. Clear? He should be a Raja Rishi. Raja भी है अंदर से. If he learns only politics ना, he will become very materially successful. He will be a very powerful person. Isn't it true? But there is no guarantee that he will be ethical. He will be morally right. Correct? But the thing is that if he learns only these two, he will be only spiritually good. देखो जो आदमी philosophy और सादा भगवान का बात करते हैं ना, dangerous है. Have you seen people getting disconnected? उसे बहुत जन का मेरे को पेरेंट्स के साथ कंप्लेंट होता है कि आप बहुत अच्छे आदमी थे लेकिन किया क्या? हुआ कि नहीं कॉन्फ्लिक्ट? मेरी ईमानदारी के तेल लगाने क्या किया मैंने? हुआ? So what happens if you break this into 2 categories? This knowledge makes you spiritually good, isn't it? This knowledge makes you materially good. What kind of a king do you want?
Balance and
दोनों चाहिए ना? हाँ.
कदाचित असं होतं का की ब्रह्म आणि उसम यांच्या वेळेला स्पिरिच्युअल कॉर्नर ऑलरेडी चांगलाच होता. त्यामुळे नॉन स्पिरिच्युअलिटीचा तेवढा प्रश्नच नव्हता, पण जसा काळ बदलतो तसं माणसाला बदलावं लागतं. असं होतं.
You are absolutely right. आपको पता है, if you study the whole Indian culture, any culture of the world, people were not so money minded. It's only becoming more and more and more. How many many of us are aware of this? Now, it's very painful to tell you. I know of parents who actually plan for their children's education. करना चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए?
Yes.
And marriage. करना चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए?
Yes.
And divorce. Are you aware of this?
Dowry?
No.
What? Divorce in the sense they don't want the child to come back, but isn't that a reality? That if at all she comes back, कुछ होता है तो उसके लिए financial security बना के रखते हैं.
Oh, yeah.
धक्का लगता है ना? लगता है कि नहीं लगता है? But tell me, is it a reality or no? 5 generations ago, क्या फर्क पड़ता था? Even if they were split, well, people not necessarily always stay together, but that economic condition did not matter. You know, एक गांव की कहानी बताते हैं कि एक बहुत बड़ा साहूकार था, उसके 4 बीवियां थी, but he didn't have to worry finance. वो कहते थोड़ा सा लैंड दे दिया, 2 गाय बछड़े दे दिए, वो बीवी उधर रहती थी. खाने पीने को कितना लगता है? थोड़ा खेती कर लिया, ही उनको मॉनिटर. You're absolutely right. Then the era changes, and unfortunately, we're living in an era where every decision is also a financial decision, isn't it true? You're right, in a way, because it is 1, 2, 3, 4. If you look at the era for them, it was ठीक है, spiritually good person is taken care, doesn't have to worry. अपने गुरुजी, मास्टर जी और डॉक्टर जी को प्रणाम करके वो अपना काम करते थे, उनको पैसे और सोचना नहीं पड़ता था. People used to give Guru Dakshina and go away, right? True. But now they don't. Nobody gives Guru Dakshina. That is the other part of it. And then they ask for Guru Dakshina before the course, before the dawai. And every field has become that way. It's very आपको पता है, I don't want to get into details. Now, if you look at the commercialization that has happened, I don't blame any culture. It has become a part of a generation problem everywhere in the world. Like, if you look at the allopathy and various other systems, वहाँ पे the original thought leaders never wanted to commercialize medicine. Hippocrates वो तो बोलते हैं ना उसको, क्या बोलते हैं सर? Have you heard the oath? It's so pure. मतलब आपको profession की dedication होता है. If you become a policeman, you take an oath to serve the country, and then अपने policeman मेरा service का क्या होगा? You getting my point?
Yes.
So how many of us can understand it today? Commercial thinking has become such an important everything, isn't it? And Chanakya probably was a very clear person कि पहला commercially भी include करके देख लो so that you are peaceful there and here also. Are you getting clear? Yes. This is where Aanvikshiki comes in. He says that I want you to be spiritually good and materially successful. Only materially successful doesn't guarantee that person is good. A lot of wealthy people, right? But immoral भी हो सकते हैं. Only moral people may not be wealthy. No, Ratan Tata, G.R.D. Tata was once asked, do you want India to be a superpower? Do you want India to be a superpower? You know what he said? No, I want India to be a happy country. Which means the Bhutan model. But tell me, is Bhutan an economically powerful country? Somebody put it very nicely. I want India to be a superpower and also a happy country. दोनों हाथ में रखो. Only happy. Problem. Only money. More problem. So this is where Chanakya's philosophy, Aanvikshiki, is called practical philosophy. Very important. It is called practical. Does it make sense? Now again coming back. Again problematic. If I have a daughter, now as a father I want the daughter should be married happily and never come back, right? But is it wrong to do financial calculations for her, including the third one?
No.
I don't know. I can't think because मैंने कभी सोचा नहीं. But is it a reality?
Yes. Can be.
I don't know. But what I'm trying to tell is that मेरे को accept नहीं हो रहा है. But ये reality तो है ना. I will tell you. I don't know whether this is not about this. You know, there's I don't watch serials, but वो कौन सा तो एक serial चल रहा है. कौन सा है वो? Sachin's wife is there, mother-in-law करके है ना, very famous हिंदी चल रहा है आजकल. कुछ रंग प्यार के, कुछ है ना ऐसा? तो I was like watching one, so मेरे घर पे देख रहे थे, ये क्या चल रहा है? So there is think about this, think about this. There is a love marriage happening between that couple, okay? And the mother of the son makes a क्या बोलते हो? Prenatal contract क्या चल रहा है? It is not very common in India. How it's come? वो जाके लड़के का माँ जाके लड़की के पिताजी को बोलते तू साइन कर. The children don't know. They are accepted. No. उसकी मदर-in-law बोलते नहीं पता नहीं बाद में कुछ हो गया तो. There are people who do DNA testings now. पता है आपको ऐसा? Now the thing is that this is where Shubha Joshi madam puts it very nicely. That science and technology comes in. Okay? And development on this side comes in. We should not lose this. The purity of marriage is not in having contracts. The purity of the marriage is much beyond contracts. The spiritual ways, right? So I tell you, we have to go through that whole philosophy to understand this. This is where Indian philosophy stands strong. Yeah, please.
It's connected to your talk, I don't know, but it's like when you're teaching the child education, economics, or whatever, in the political world, or a daughter getting married or son is getting married. If the philosophy or the home training of the feelings are more strong, the basic knowledge and the adjustment, companionship, then there is no fear of being that way. But in case something goes wrong outside world, then the taking care of the economics is also.
That's a backup plan, right?
Backup.
That is not what you wanted to happen.
That is not a fear. That is you are doing it as a care. For
Exactly.
you when you are at the
Exactly.
age of 60, 70.
Exactly. Is an insurance a backup?
Yes. It is.
You want people to die?
No.
Nobody takes an insurance and telling you मैं मरूंगा तो नहीं. अगर मर गया तो.
But to that level, going to a practical world, that philosophy knowledge is very strong and very
That is why he says Aanvikshiki is first. अब और एक बात बताता हूँ. See, as you rightly pointed, we want to give those values. Okay. But सामने वाले में वो values नहीं तो क्या करोगे? It is not your mistake. Especially in a global cultural scenario, you don't know. Oh, last time मैंने एक joke बताया था ना. Remember that when children used to get married 30 years ago, the mother used to tell बेटा अपने जात वाले लड़का लड़की से शादी करना. उसके बाद when they went start moving abroad, बेटा इंडियन से शादी करना है. तो अभी बाबा बेटा लड़की से शादी करना है. No, yesterday we were there at the US Consul, right?
Yes,
One of
yes.
the major election agenda is gay rights.
40%.
40% of that sort of. Yeah.
It was more before, now it has reduced to 40.
मुझे अभी तो ठीक है. Now think about it. If people are settling in US, I know families which have come back from many developed countries, taken up simple jobs in India because they don't want the children to go through this dharma sankat. The remigrating पता नहीं कोई children don't know, parents don't know. थोड़ा चाणक्य पे जाए. Just see, please understand this. Are you able to understand why this base of Aanvikshiki is important? It prepares you for both the worlds. This world is also real, and this world is also real. Because spiritual world is not other world, वो भी real world है. But हम जो ये जो wealth वाला world है, that is also real world. You have to pay your salaries, isn't it? You have to pay this electricity bill, isn't it? That's real. और भगवान आपके देखेगा वो भी real है. Chanakya has also balanced. Okay, we just got the last 10 minutes. We'll get into detail in the next class because each is a philosophical concept. Now, first of all, he has defined 4 knowledge. He is debated with the Purvacharyas. Come back to the conclusion that all 4 are required. Now he explains Aanvikshiki and why it is important. This is very important to know. What is Aanvikshiki? What is? Simple सा one line में दिया हुआ है. सांख्य, योग and लोकायत. This constitute Aanvikshiki. इसके लिए you need to understand Indian philosophy. Indian philosophy in Sanskrit is called as darshanas. Darshanas. We can have a complete class on that separately. So there are majorly 6 darshanas. You are aware of that? What are they? Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Mimamsa, and Vedanta. They were different. Basically, they are different schools of thought. All ultimately reaches you to God. Three of them combined. So there are 6. And then later on came Jaina as a philosophy. Then we have Lokayata and Buddhism. Yeah. So Lokayata and Charvakya are the materialistic. Maybe in the next class I will try and explain a little bit later. So Chanakya, see, one of the interesting thing about Chanakya is that he never introduces a new philosophy. He combines many philosophies to bring out a new philosophy. Sankhya, Yoga and Lokayata existed before him. सबको डाल के एक नया बना दिया. अरे ये मेरा philosophy. Good, ना? Look like a mother who knows nothing, no new recipe is created on its own. It's only permutation combination, isn't it? जो raw material है वही की है, उसमें से permutation combination दो. So what is Aanvikshiki? It is not a new word. Existed. But you are asking what is it? पूर्व philosophy है ना, सांख्य, योगा and लोकायता. इनको तीनों मिला के Aanvikshiki कहते हैं. Basically, indirectly, Chanakya is telling study the previous 3 also. So सब सीखो. You understand this beauty?
But one more point, it is not over there. When you go on handling that, you need those things as
Exactly.
and when you require.
Absolutely. So Sankhya, Yoga and Lokayata, these constitute Aanvikshiki. Investigating by means of reasoning. First calm your mind. Next thing is you have to investigate. How? Logically. मुझे लगता है. Data बताओ. Show me the facts. By means of reasoning, what is spiritual good and evil in the Vedic law? Basically, you investigate according to the Vedas what is right and wrong. So basically, आपको कुछ base चाहिए ना सोचने के लिए. So आपका base is Vedas. Your scriptures will tell you what is right and wrong. इसलिए हर कल्चर में ये बोलते हैं कि अपने स्क्रिप्चर्स सीखो. स्क्रिप्चर्स को कोट करने से पहले अंडरस्टैंड इट लॉजिकली एंड क्रिटिकली. How many people can look at their own religious scriptures critically? Critical is not cynical. This is very, very important. Critical thinking is not cynical thinking. What is the meaning of cynical? Negative. Critical means I can look at my own religion, my own culture, my own country, saying that इसमें अच्छा भी है, बुरा भी है, right?
Neutral mind. Neutral mind.
It is not oh मेरे को उसमें मूवी स्वदेश बहुत अच्छा लगता है. You seen the movie Swadesh?
Yes.
The way the whole movie has been evolved, it's a very, very thought-provoking movie. You know, हमारे यहाँ पे the old village story and Shah Rukh Khan comes. He says हमें बड़ा तो he says you know कि हमारा देश हमारी संस्कृति बहुत अच्छी है बहुत बड़ी है. Shah Rukh Khan says हमारे में बड़ी होने की क्षमता है लेकिन हमारे में बहुत सारे फॉल्ट्स हैं, समझे? हमारे देश में सब कुछ है जो हमें बड़ा देश में अगर हम बड़ा नहीं है ये भी एक्सेप्ट करना जरूरी है. Now always tell this. By studying Arthashastra, now don't go back into the past. प्रॉब्लम है हमारे पास हमारे देश में चाणक्य था हरिचोड. हाँ आमच्याकडे पण शिवाजी होता. See, you get stuck in a time frame, isn't it? See, हमारे पास भी चाणक्य था तो आज क्या कर रहे हैं? Today we are not great. But using Chanakya we can again become great. Understand this? In today's context. So this is the whole thing. Leadership is studying the previous leaders, other leaders. When you say मेरा organization में मैं तो बहुत अच्छा leader है, अरे self-critical thinking. Okay. समझ रहे हैं what is Aanvikshiki? So it helps us to see what is spiritual good and evil in the Vedic law. आप खुद देखते हो उसमें. According to the Shastras क्या है? The material gain and loss in economics. Aanvikshiki helps you in understanding फायदा या नुकसान. How many people say और बिलीव दैट जो आदमी फायदे के बारे में सोचता है वो गलत है। मन ने શું फायदा? ये तो आदमी बेकार आदमी है। एक और चारा कि इसको बिना फायदे के कुछ नहीं करेंगे। But isn't that bringing a very practical angle to it? If you're not, see, if you're trained in business activity, the businessman is clear decision maker है या नहीं है. But that doesn't mean you only take a financial call. Sometimes it's a moral call also. I know so many businessmen who have made losses because it was a spiritual call for them. But you have considered it. In the next class, I will actually make you do group exercises based on how confusing systems or situations can be solved using Aanvikshiki. तो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जो आता है ना, ये आ गया सिचुएशन में, ये स्पिरिचुअल है या अनस्पिरिचुअल है, फायदे का है या नुकसान का है, लीगल है इलीगल है, क्या करें? How do you take a decision? Aanvikshiki helps you in that. आगे, good policy and bad policy in the science of politics. देखो जैसे यहाँ पे कंफ्यूजन हो सकता है ना फायदा या नुकसान, यहाँ पे भी कंफ्यूजन हो सकता है. Is it good or bad politics? And again, according to Vedas, isn't it? वेदा में भी क्या सही है गलत तो दिया हुआ है ना. So this helps you the conflicts in these three. Aanvikshiki helps you in the conflict of Trayi, Vakta and Dandamiti using Sankhya, Yoga and Lokaya. सर क्या बोल रहे हैं?
हाँ.
धीरे धीरे आएगा. Do you understand how deep it is? So we are combining everything. किसी को छोड़ नहीं रहे. आगे. As well as the relative strength and weaknesses of these three sciences, philosophy, that is Aanvikshiki, confers benefit on people. So if you study Aanvikshiki and apply Aanvikshiki, what happens? It confers benefit on people. लोगों को उसका फायदा होता है. Keeps the mind steady in adversity and prosperity. Mind is calm. मैं बोला ना calm. Success हो या नुकसान हो या steady. No businessman or no leader should get excited when there is lot of profits. And not to get depressed when there is loss. आएगा जाएगा. And in prosperity as well as adversity, and brings about proficiency in thought, speech and action. एक बार आपने सीधा सोचने को clearly सोचने को शुरू किया, you can communicate well. Thought, आप clearly सोच सकते हो. Speech, you can speak properly and our actions will be proper. If you are having to solve, you are one of the greatest dangers of public speaking. You know, stage से डर लगता है. It is not about your communication skills. It's because mind is not steady. क्या आपका? अब देखो स्टेज पे जाते ही it is not you know everything. But mind hit गया ना, you don't know how to think in that situation. समझ गए? So what is not required is not how to stand well and gone. Mind is switched off. And this is what happens in exam time. आप लोग exams आएगा ना, बिल्कुल नहीं Aanvikshiki apply करना सब पास हो जाओ. Swami Chinmayan used to put it very nicely. Before the exams I am wise. I know everything. Before the exams I am wise. I know everything. After the exams I am wise. I know everything. During the exam I am otherwise. That means क्या होगा? Suddenly paper दिख के blank हो. होता है कि नहीं होता? It happens to more of people. So what has happened if you don't know how to keep your mind steady? And you know there is one exercise which people do is these are all brain tricks बोलते हैं ना games में. So they'll give you 10 questions and then say you have to solve this in 10 minutes. Have you seen those? तो पहला वाला question ऐसे लेगा, write the names of 10 presidents of America. तो लोग पहला देखते दिमाग में चलता है. Second will be when is Indira Gandhi's birthday. Okay? ऐसा करते करते and you know what the last 10th question will be? Please don't write anything, just say thank you. The 10th question is if you don't have to answer any of them, just say thank you. What it means is that if the person has just read the question paper completely, that means 10th question तो उसको पता चलेगा all 9 are useless. समझे आपने? So what people generally do in exam writing is the पहला question पे answer लिखना चालू करते हैं. And then I didn't have the time to complete. पहला क्वेश्चन भी बोबो गया. I'm otherwise. Second question पर आराम से take 5 minutes. Then you will see, अरे you have to only answer 5 out of 10. अरे ऊपर वाला छोड़ दो ना, second तो easy है. Planning is more important than execution. Isn't it true? We should know how to execute and also plan. Study well and go with the flow. Just study well. Okay, so last point I will say and we'll wind up. What happens? We will see this more in detail with our exercises and all next week. Philosophy, Aanvikshiki, is ever thought as the lamp of all sciences. ये भी sciences है ना? The lamp of all sciences as the means of all actions and the support of all laws and duties. If you don't know how to think, you can't do anything. See, the greatest intellectuals also, if they don't know how to think, then they can become lunatic. I know, even great scientists sometimes require psychiatric treatment.
In fact, they require
More. They have overused their intelligence. And Chanakya says the right use of intelligence. That is Aanvikshiki. That's why I call it the science of intelligence management. जो गाड़ी का चला, if you drive a car and scooter, there is something called as optimum speed. बहुत ज़्यादा करोगे तो गाड़ी बिगड़ जाएगी, बहुत कम रखोगे तो under utilized.
Cruising speed.
And engineers say that if you know the optimum speed, the best part is that the गाड़ी will be there for a long period of time. है ना? It will be more longer, better. Pradeepah Sarva Vidyaram. Now he is concluding by saying why Aanvikshiki is required, what Aanvikshiki is required, and why it is the Prathama Vidya. Pradeepah, thinking is the base of all knowledge. So, for example, if you are studying the Veda, you should know how to think, na? If you are doing economics, you should know how to think. Political science is also about thinking. Thinking is the base of everything. But which kind of a thinking? Investigating by means of reasoning, which is spiritual good and materially beneficial, which gives us profits also.
Investigating.
By ways of reasoning.
By means of reasoning. Okay? Interesting?
Yes.
और भी deep जाना है. We have only touched one point, the difference between worrying and thinking. Now thinking के types है. Remember, if you can sit 10 minutes every day quietly without thinking, the first step to Aanvikshiki is started. Before thinking, not thinking is important. Any questions?
No.
Next time. Thank you so much.